Hello, this is Dr. Ayleen, and this is Medicine Walk. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. And it's cool to be here with you again, and I am here at home, and this is the view from my porch. I live up in the woods, and it's really a lot of fun to be able to live somewhere where every day going home is coming back and being surrounded by nature and trees and the river and all kinds of really cool stuff. So today we're going to be talking about what I call cleaning out the refrigerator. And I posted a tweet yesterday that talked about the idea that when you hold on to old resentments, when you hold on to old pain, when you hold on to old mistakes, and you just dwell on them, it's sort of like if you walk into a huge, beautiful buffet, and there's all this great food lined up, and it's just, you smell everything wonderful, and yet you walk past all of it so that you can go home and pull a stale old sandwich out of the refrigerator and just gnaw on that. That is such a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. And what it is it denies you all kinds of wonderful things that could be happening in your life. It's sort of like when you want to accomplish something in spite of someone. It's like, well, they broke my heart, or they talked bad about me, or they did something to hurt me. So I'm going to succeed, and I'm going to show them, and I'm going to do it just because of them, just to spite them. Well, when you do that, what you do is you give them credit for what you're doing. You give them credit for your accomplishment. And that's a part of that holding on to, just yuck, holding on to things you don't need to hold on to. So, and one of the chores that most of us dislike most is cleaning out the refrigerator. Because what happens? What goes in, at the point that it goes in, it's fresh, it's nutritious, it sustains us, it's something that we enjoy. But like resentments and blame and shame and just, dwelling on the stuff that we either didn't do that we should have, or that we, that shouldn't have happened, whatever. All our actions start off as something good. All of our actions start off as something positive, or at least we think so. We have a very good reason for it, and we believe that it's something that's moving us forward. But bottom line, eventually, it starts to go bad if we don't take care of it, if we don't process it. If you leave food in the refrigerator that it goes uneaten, eventually, even in a refrigerator, it's going to go bad. And then it starts to smell. And then what does it do? It starts to affect the other food that's in the refrigerator. If you open the door and there's that smell, and you notice that everything in there is being affected. And what this does is that everything that is in your field, all the stuff, as you're putting new fresh things in, it's being corrupted by this stuff that's in there. And what happens is, it's sort of like, when you have those little underlying things, those little negative things that are kind of eating away at you, it ends up creating a situation where it taints everything. You're doing something really good, and yet there's still that underlying yuck. And let me just make sure. Yes, it is good. I just wanted to make sure, because I did a whole recording yesterday, and it ended up not recording. So, I'm a little paranoid. But even that mistake, when that happened, because I recorded, and I went to go and download it on the computer, and there was nothing. And so I checked, and what had happened was the file card was full. And I didn't realize that. And so I just sat there for a moment thinking, wow, there was a whole half hour's worth of what I thought was pretty good stuff. And it was gone. So my choice was to stick that, bit of nastiness into my emotional refrigerator and let it corrupt everything else, let it start feeding into, wow, you messed up, and, your stuff has been messed up lately. And, before I let that start feeding it, it's like, well, I didn't get it then, so I'll do it again tomorrow, and I'll try again. And it took me a few minutes, but I let go of it. And once I let go of it, it's like, well, okay. Obviously, there was something else I needed to say. Obviously, there was something else that I needed to express. And so you just do it again. You do it over. That's how you get old stuff out of the refrigerator. As when something first starts to go bad, or if even if it's not giving a hint of going bad, but it's been hanging out in the refrigerator for too long, just take it out. Because the whole point of the refrigerator is that it keeps things fresh, that it allows you to be able to preserve things while you're waiting to utilize them. And that happens inside of us. That's something that we do. And what happens is that if we allow ourselves to, well, you know what, that particular bit of whatever, that leftover or whatever it is, I haven't utilized it, and so therefore I don't need that energy. Obviously, that's something that I don't need. And, that, well, you don't want to waste anything. Like, you know what, it's going to waste in there. It's going to waste sitting. If we decide that, there's something we want to do, and yet we piddle around and we spend a whole lot of time, thinking about it and researching it, what's happening is the energy that we're putting into it is going stale. If you spend all your time, figuring out how you're going to do something and wanting to do it perfect and going into that place of it's like, well, it's got to be perfect, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. Well, if you never get it done, there's no point in it. If you never get it off the ground, it just goes bad. It goes stale. And what you want is you want your energy, and one of my neighbor's dogs is barking, and if you hear meowing, that's Luna inside wanting to come out. So the idea that you have all this energy and all these ideas and you've got all this wonderful inspiration, don't let it sit. Don't let it fester, and certainly don't let it sit in the same energetic space as those aspects of you that that you want to beat yourself up about. That you didn't take advantage of an opportunity, or that you trusted someone who ended up betraying you, or that you procrastinated and it ended up biting you in the rear end. Yeah, those things happen. The question is, what do you do with them? How do you move forward? How do you use that to say, you know what, I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm going to be able to utilize something different. I'm going to be able to move forward. So let yourself move forward. And it's easy to get caught up in the things that we can't control. It's easy to get caught up in the past and in memories that we rehash in our minds, but that really don't get us anywhere. They don't allow us to move forward because we're stuck in it. We can't get the lesson from it because we're stuck in it. We're stuck in the negative part of it. And the negative part is, oh wow, I screwed up. Or, oh wow, this person hurt me. If somebody hurt you, I'm sorry. I really am. And I'm not going to tell you to suck it up. I'm not going to tell you that lots of people get hurt, because each person getting, each hurt is unique to themselves. And we've all been there, yes, but your hurt is unique. And if you're going through it, I really am sorry. And I hope that it is processing through for you. And part of it is not letting it get stuck in the back of the refrigerator and have it start, creating an unhealthy environment for the healthy things that you want to bring into your life. I have been through, I've had opportunities to kind of apply this, and lately I've had quite a few opportunities to apply it. That idea that what others choose to do, how others choose to walk in this world, the choices that they make that affect me, I can't control their choices, but I can try to get a handle on what it is that I'm doing, what it is that how I'm reacting to it, how I'm responding to it. And sometimes that can be really tricky. Sometimes it's easy to fall into, well, I'm going to do something and I'm going to do it to spite them. Like I said, you do something to spite someone, they get credit for it. You can be whatever you want to be. You can make the changes in your life that you want to change. And when you are making a big change in your life, when you've decided, okay, this thing isn't going to go bad in the refrigerator, I'm going to make this into something. It's going to take your time. It's going to take your energy. It's going to take your commitment. It's going to take your wisdom. It's going to take your determination. And the one thing it doesn't take is negative energy around something else. You don't need anyone to succeed. You can get help, you can get guidance, but that thing that is going to make you succeed rests inside of you. Because otherwise, you're not going to go and get the help. You're not going to go and find someone to assist you. You're not going to put together the team to help it, because it all starts and ends with you. And when you go through what you need to go through, and you cross that finish line, and you're in that moment of joy and glory saying, I really wasn't sure I could do this. I didn't know if I could do it, but I did it. And it turns out I'm stronger than I thought. I'm smarter than I thought. And I'm more resilient than I ever thought I could be. And that moment of joy, that is when you are standing in front of that buffet. That is when you are joining the banquet of life. That is when you are embracing all the tastes and smells and just enjoyment that you can in life without having those nagging little things, pulling you back. Without having, if somebody did something to you, that will ultimately be for them to figure out and for them to work out. You don't have to carry that. You don't have to turn that into something that is going bad in your refrigerator, messing up all of the other healthy food that you got in there. You don't have to take on what someone else projects at you. It's like accepting a delivery that you didn't order. If you didn't order it, you don't have to accept it. If you didn't choose that, you don't have to bring it into your life. It's hard. It really is. It can be challenging, and maybe we put off cleaning out the refrigerator. Maybe we say, well, yes, something's smelling, but I'll deal with it later. But as that thing gets worse and worse and worse, it's affecting all that good stuff, all the good food that is in there. And then you end up having to throw everything away. You have to bring everything to a stop. You get nothing done. You can do this. I know you can. I believe in you. Even if we've never met, I still believe in you. And I know that you are better than any of those detractors who have tried to, beat you down and pick you apart. That's their problem. It's not yours. Your job is that when things start to build up, when things start to turn, when things start to go bad in the refrigerator, that you take those things out and you are able to process them and say, you know what? Is there any good left in this? If the answer is no, let it go. You don't have to hold on to something that doesn't serve you. I mean, yes, We all have those things, and there's a lot to learn from the things that happen to us. There's a lot to learn from the things that, maybe kind of come in and beat us down. You can learn from that, but then you let it go. The only thing you're meant to keep is the lesson. Let the rest go, because that allows you to move forward. That allows you, because once you take all the things out of your refrigerator that, aren't good, then you can go and get things that are good, that go in there, and then you utilize them. You don't just let them sit. It's like, well, I bought a whole bunch of wonderful strawberries, and wow, it would have been great, but I just kind of let them sit. And then they got all moldy, and then I had to throw all of them away. It's a waste of your resources, and it's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of some perfectly good strawberries. Don't let your ideas fester. Don't let your dreams go bad in the refrigerator. And certainly, don't put things in that refrigerator. Don't let that negative stuff build up, because all it does is corrupt the stuff that you have a chance to really do something positive about. When you want to be able to shift something, because I get a lot of people who ask me, okay, fine, I want to let something go, I just don't know how. I don't know how to let go of that chokehold that this thing has on me, that, that damage that somebody did to me. Yeah, I can't forget that. Well, nobody says you should. It's important to remember the important stuff. It's important to honor that you went through something really bad, or that you were hurt, and no one else has to, maybe somebody, well, that wasn't so bad. It's not for anybody else to decide what was so bad. If you think it was so bad, it was so bad. So, my definition of forgiveness is that a person or event no longer has the power to inspire in me a feeling I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel angry. I don't want to feel resentful. I don't want to feel shame, blame, or anything else. So if there is a person or an event that is inspiring that in me, I know for me, I have to take a look at, okay, what part of me is hooked into that? What is the part of me that's holding on to that? Why am I letting that sit and go bad in my refrigerator? Why am I allowing that to corrupt all the good stuff that I could be having in my life right now? And maybe it's that you need to be able to reconcile to yourself that you didn't deserve to be treated that way. Maybe there's a part of you that's not sure. I mean, it's very easy to blame ourselves for things. It's very easy to fall into, that space of, well, I called this in. Oh my God, that phrase. There's a lot of things that we can call into our lives, but somebody else choosing to be tremendously crappy to you is not something that you call in. I mean, in my opinion, if people may feel differently about it, people may feel that, no. I mean, whatever you believe, I love it for you. Believe whatever you choose. For me, I believe that sometimes people just act foolish, or people just act mean. And it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with them. It has to do with something that they're working. So if somebody has chosen to be hurtful to you, you weren't responsible for that choice. And if you look at the part of you that is experiencing that is holding on to that, if you can't release that on your own, talk to somebody. Talk to a friend, talk to a minister, talk to a counselor, but just talk to somebody who can actually be able to sit and hold that space with you and not go into, shame, blame, or whatever. If it's somebody, it's like, well, maybe you did do this, or is going to go into the blame game with the other one. Well, they're just a jerk and that. So, somebody who can kind of hold the space while you analyze it, and you break it down and get to its core and find out what at the core is that part that you're holding on to. So once you can do that, once you can identify what about it is the part that is holding you, and if it's that, well, I need them to apologize, well, they're probably not going to do that. They may not even think they did anything wrong. So how can you work through that without having somebody else resolve it? Well, you can sit and imagine that you're having that conversation with them. And you're telling them everything you want to say. And because it's your story, they'll respond however it is that your mind chooses to have them do that. And just do that over and over and over again. And to me, or for me, that has been something that's been helpful. Because it's almost as if I'm having a conversation with them on a spirit level. And whatever that person does, when I reach that place where I no longer care, where it doesn't matter to me, when I get bored, actually doing this will actually, if you do it over and over again, you'll actually get bored of it. And that's the beginning of letting it go, when it no longer holds power over you. But either way, talk to somebody if you're having trouble letting that go. Once you're able to at least clear it enough that you can say, okay, I'm not attached to this, so therefore I can get it out of the fridge and I can throw it away. And you don't worry about what happens to it or what's going to replace it. Just get rid of it. Whatever you replace it with will be whatever you choose to replace it with. Yeah, I would certainly doubt that you would throw something stale away and then go find something stale to put back in your refrigerator. And if you find yourself with things going stale, take a look at what you're putting in there. If you've got something, dreams that are going stale inside you, take a look at those dreams. What is it about them that's keeping you from working with it, that's keeping you from initiating it, that's keeping you from making those dreams into reality? And then maybe you've got too many. Maybe you've got an awful lot of dreams and, you're kind of stuck. You're so busy making dreams that you're not making any of them happen. So, you can write down your dreams and put them in a jar, but don't start initiating them until you get some of them out of your way first. Some of the old ones out of the way. And maybe more. Well, then that gets tossed. It's like, wish it well and move on. So, move forward. Clean your refrigerator. Make sure that whatever is in there, whatever is in your field, whatever is in your space of creation and nurturing, that it's fresh, that it's positive, that it's not based on anybody else, that you're not giving anybody else credit. When you cross that finish line, don't take anybody with you. They don't need to come with you. You can stand in that spotlight alone. And you can enjoy it, and you can revel in it. And, if you're spiritual, you can connect with spirit in that. And you can enjoy it all for yourself. You don't have to enjoy it based on somebody else being shown what for. Because that only taints it. That only takes away. It doesn't add to anything. And it makes it a very hollow victory. Have your victories be full. You deserve that. You can do that. And always remember, the past is for learning from. It's not for living in. So clean your refrigerator. Put some fresh stuff in there and actually enjoy it. Because it's your refrigerator. And it's your life. So don't settle for a stale sandwich. Go and enjoy the banquet of abundance and bounty that it is your right to enjoy. I'll see you at the banquet table. So, thank you for joining me, and I will be videotaping probably. I'm going to try doing it with the next few episodes, see how that works, and then I will be I will be sitting in the chat room, so I will be going in the comments. So if you have any comments, please include them. And for those of you who are listening on Blog Talk Radio, I invite you to come come and see the YouTube channel. It's a YouTube Medicine Walk with Dr. Ayleen. And if you have any comments, then you can reach me through Blog Talk Radio. You can also follow me on Twitter. You can join my Facebook group, Medicine Walk with Dr. Ayleen. And you can like this video. If you think it's valuable for someone, you can share it. You can subscribe, because we're working on growing our community. And you can also like, comment, subscribe. And when you subscribe, click the little bell, and that will notify you when videos come up. So, thank you. And by the way, I want to thank you for your patience with the last few episodes. That's something that I've been working on clearing out of my refrigerator. And when I don't do something and it does, and I notice later on, it was like, oh, I'm not happy about that. So, yeah, I still work these pieces too. The advice that I give is stuff that I'm taking, and I know it's made a difference in my life, and I hope it makes a difference in yours. And if you've got something, a problem-solving thing that you do, please share it. Share it in the comments. I want to hear, the stuff that you guys do, and how you make it through the day, and how you walk your walk. Because, we all help each other out. And that's how we grow. That's how we improve. That's how we transform. We don't sit around and keep all our good advice to ourselves. I know you've got a lot of good advice in you, so please share it. Anyway, thank you for joining me. And as always, I wish you balance, and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you. Bye.